And hello YouTube, this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'm today on a brand new video for Gaming with GS, and today we're here on Guild Wars 2 and we're going to talk about the recently released trailer for Living World Season 3 Episode 2 Rising Flames. Now this is probably one of the best trailers ArenaNet has ever done. It looks really good. It gives you a pretty good idea of what we're going to see on the new map, Ember Bay, and it also isn't just 20 seconds long of footage. We're actually getting close to a minute video. Obviously they have all the logos and their end screen with buying Heart of Thorns and whatnot, but we do get generally more footage than usually. Now I just want to talk a little about the trailer, talk about what I saw, what I'm excited for, what I'm disappointed in, what I wish there was in the trailer. So I'll probably have the trailer playing in the background for the footage of the video 2 or 3 times, and I'll drop some random footage in most likely. But as the trailer starts, we do see Lazarus, as we all knew that he was already in the game now again. He is relevant again, one of the Mersat. However, interestingly enough, they decided to put him at the start of the trailer, which sort of spoils episode 1. I don't know if that's a big deal to anyone. I just thought it was pretty interesting. And I'm still curious if we are going to be fighting alongside Lazarus, if he needs our help for something, which is why he spared us, or whether he is going to be one of our primary enemies that we are fighting also along with the dragon. That's what I'm very curious about since his arrival. Now, one cool thing that I noticed in the trailer, and perhaps you've noticed it as well, is that it looks like we're getting new textures. It looks like we're getting a new environment. A lot of times we've seen ArenaNet reuse assets, reuse textures, reuse enemies, reuse animations, reuse different things in their game for different areas. And we do have Fireheart Rise, which there's lots of lava, there's mountainous areas. We do have Mount Maelstrom, where there's lava, fire, lots of mountainous areas. And it looks like Ember Bay in the Fire Island chain also is going to have lots of lava, fire, mountainous areas, but it doesn't seem like they're reusing their textures. It doesn't look like they're reusing their older assets from the older maps. And I really appreciate that, because sometimes it can feel like you're going through the same areas if you're using the same assets over and over again. And I really appreciate the fact that it looks like we are getting new assets and new textures, and which will make the map really fresh and really new, and I think it'll be a lot more enjoyable. We also see several enemies in the trailer, including Jade Armors, Jade Bows, Destroyers, Karkas, which were really interesting, Fireworms from Guild Wars 1, which is also pretty cool, and I'll talk about each of these individually in just a second. However, we don't see any Hydras or Drakes, and I feel like we're really missing those. In Guild Wars 1, we had Hydras and Drakes, and they were very prominent to the area, and I really hope that they're in the map. They're not showing in the trailer because they don't want to give everything away. Hopefully we see them in the map, because Hydras would be so cool to see in Guild Wars 2, and I think would really complete the map very nicely. Now, like I said, we do have Jade Armors and Jade Bows, which was pretty much expected. However, one of the interesting thing to realize is that this could mean that White Mantle are on the map as well, because these Jade Armors and Jade Bows could have been activated by the White Mantle. Unless they've been wandering around the map for all these years, just wandering around, which seems very unlikely. But we do, it could be theorized that White Mantle are in the area. They're relevant as they were in Bloodstone Fen. I think that's pretty cool, and I think that really shows how the lore is still prevalent in these maps, which is always good. Now, Fireworms were seen in Guild Wars 1. We also see them here in this map, which I thought is also really cool, because it looks like they are trying to keep the map from Guild Wars 1 and bring it over to Guild Wars 2, obviously just, you know, in a newer version and update everything. And, you know, people who play Guild Wars 1 can appreciate that, and I like that they're doing that. Just like they did it perfectly well in the first episode, where we had a ton of lore things spread about and lots of things from Guild Wars 1 were referenced. They seem to be doing it here in this episode as well, which is really nice for people who've played Guild Wars 1, and even nice for people who haven't played Guild Wars 1 to sort of understand the lore a bit more. And I'll talk a little bit about how there could possibly be another lore scavenging hunt, as we saw in Bloodstone Fen with the research papers on the floor. Now, we do see destroyers in the trailer as well. Whether these are new destroyers or not, I'm not really sure. However, most likely these will be Primordius' minions. We see Karkas, and surprisingly we see Karkas. I did not expect Karkas to be in this map. In fact, a lot of people didn't expect Karkas to be in this map. However, one thing that I have seen a few people say is that they're actually glad Karkas are in the map because it sort of fills up that hole of why are Karkas in the game to begin with. Karkas were originally in South Sun Cove. However, South Sun Cove has always been a map that's just been thrown into the game and never really been relevant to the lore. But now that Karkas are in this new map in Ember Bay, it could make sense how Karkas came into Tyria, that they were pushed out from their waters to different areas such as South Sun Cove and such as the Fire Island chain, which actually lightens up that situation a bit more with, well, how are Karkas here in the game. So that's good to see. It seems like they do care about their story and care about their lore and care about what they're putting into the game. They're trying to connect all the dots properly, and I appreciate that. And it's cool. We haven't seen many Karkas in many areas, so it can't hurt to have Karkas into Fire Island chain, not Fireheart. Keep on messing. I'm thinking of Fireheart Rise, but Fire Island chain. And we also have fire elementals, which is pretty much a given because there's a ton of fire everywhere. Obviously, we're going to have fire elementals. Now, one thing I did see while watching the trailer is there seems to be a lot of dust and ash in the area. I did see a lot of it while the trailer was playing. We saw in certain scenes there was lots of ash flying by. I don't know if this is going to be very relevant. It would be really cool if ArenaNet took the dust and the ash as a way to present a problem to the players, such as another conflict or such as an obstacle to go through. Maybe this is something like the poison that we saw in the Maguma jungle. Maybe we can get some sort of mastery to go through very ashy areas that's very hard to breathe in. Maybe this could be some sort of a mastery. Maybe I'm looking too deep into that, but it would be cool if they took on ash or dust or some of the air in the area to make it very dangerous. We know that the island is a very dangerous place, and it'll be really cool if they actually incorporate the environment into the map, whether it be through a future mastery track or whether it be part of the story. That would be pretty interesting to me. We also see lots of skulls in the area, which are very prominent. We knew that skulls were going to be very prominent. They've always been very prominent, even in Guild Wars 1, where skulls have been across the entire map. Why these are there, no one's ever really known, but maybe we'll get some insight on that. But it seems like skulls are pretty much everywhere across the map, on top of volcanoes, in structures. It's a neat little fitting theme, as pirates are a fitting theme as well, and the Skrit are actually in the map as well. We actually see a Skrit pirate in the trailer, and I gotta say, they look pretty interesting. They look pretty awesome, and I think they could really roll with this idea of the pirate theme and get it done really well. Because if you think about Skrit and their need for treasure and stuff, it's a fitting theme, and I'm really looking forward to see what they do with the Skrit. And we could see some pretty interesting and fun things. Now, as the trailer progresses, we do see the temperature in Tyria is rising. That is one of the text lines they give us, and I don't really know why they added this. I do have certain theories of what could be happening. Could we be seeing the Fire Island chain affecting other maps? Could different maps be changing? Could different maps, nearby maps, be affected by it? Will this incorporate into the living world aspect of the living world season? Could we see different changes? Could we see different current events from the Fire Island chain affect different maps? That's most likely what it's going to be. But that text is there for a reason, and I'm not really sure what they mean by temperature in Tyria is rising. Would be interesting to see what happens though. In general, the trailer shows a lot of beautiful shots, I gotta say. Lots of lava shots that are really nice. We also get to see inside of a volcano, which is really nice as well. And if you don't like volcanoes and all this dark stuff, we do see some plant life and nature in the map as well in the trailer. So I wonder if we're actually gonna get some naturey areas, which is pretty interesting because, I mean, as we know, this little island doesn't really have much nature in it, but they added some to it. So I wonder how that's going to look. Personally, I like the naturey maps, so I'm looking forward to it. I wonder if it's like a mixture of nature and a mixture of barren wasteland of ash and fire and destruction and whatnot. It'd be cool to see that little transition at one point in the map if there is one like that. One thing we also see in the trailer is a very large volcano exploding. Now, I do know that there are several volcanoes in the Guild Wars 2 universe. There's not many. However, the largest one is Abaddon's Mouth. Now, could this volcano be in this map? It would be really awesome if it was. However, it does look rather small, so I don't think it will be. Maybe they're saving that for a future map, which would be really awesome if there was a map around Abaddon's Mouth. That was if Abaddon's Mouth was the core central part of the map, and all around, and then everything around it would be the entire map. We could just like go around the volcano. That would be really awesome if that was a central idea for a map. In the video, it just seems kind of small, and I don't think it is. Maybe it's just some random volcano they added in, but if it is, hopefully it's really big, and hopefully it's a central part of the map. Hopefully it's a main attraction or main event. Maybe it's a huge dynamic event that happens in that area. But whether it is Abaddon's Mouth and whether it has any significance, I don't know. It's just something that I thought of that could possibly be there. It'd be pretty cool. Now, we also seen in the trailer are Mersat ruins, and this is what I was talking about earlier with scavenger hunt for the lore. In Bloodstone Fen, we were able to look for papers on the floor, and they were basically journal pages, and they gave us some really cool lore. Now, with the Mersat ruins there, they could possibly, now if they do this, it'd be really nice, and I think a lot of people would appreciate it. If there could be some type of lore scavenger hunt, or signs that we can read, or maybe notes again, or maybe carvings engraved on the ruins, or who knows what, some type of lore that we can collect by going through the map and interacting with these Mersat ruins and different structures to learn more about the history of the map and the history of the Guild Wars 2 story concerning the Mersat and how the island has changed. That would be really interesting, and that could make another cool little collection, another cool little achievement, and could give us another thing to do on the map, just like it was in Bloodstone Fen, because there are Mersat ruins in the area. Now, will they take advantage of this and actually provide sort of a lore scavenger hunt? That is the question that I'd like to have an answer for, and I hope they do it. And I think the only other thing I've really noticed is when the trailer ends, they do give us this line of, oh, will we be dealing with another dragon so soon? And I think it's been pretty obvious that Primordus will be a dragon that we're fighting in this living season. The interesting part to me about this entire thing is that in the personal story, once you bought the base game, obviously, for those of us who bought the base game in the early days of Guild Wars 2, we got to fight Zaitan as one of the main central storylines, right? And then as we bought Heart of Thorns, we got to fight Mordramoth as, the main storyline. Now, why are they deciding, and this is something that I've always thought about, this specific scenario is, are they going to only centralize dragon fighting, these big huge bosses, these big huge storylines, around an expansion pack? I would have thought they were fighting another Elder Dragon in the next expansion pack, but it seems like we're not. We're actually fighting one in a Living World season that's composed of, maybe 7, 8, 9 episodes, who knows, and it's not really part of an expansion. It's basically adding on to that value that you got Heart of Thorns for. And this is really cool that they're doing this, because not only does it add more value to the Heart of Thorns expansion pack, if you still haven't bought Heart of Thorns, heck, you're getting 2 Elder Dragons now. You're getting more maps than you were originally seeing, other than the Maguma maps. You're getting Bloodstone Fen, you're getting Ember Bay now, and possibly 2 or 3 more maps in that area. If that hasn't sold you to Heart of Thorns yet, then I don't know what will. So maybe this is a marketing strategy that's, they're trying to make Heart of Thorns have more value and trying to get more sales on that. Maybe it's the fact that they're saying, hey, you don't need to just buy expansions and worry about the big story there. Come back every week and play our little patches or so. Come back every 2 months or so and play our patches, because they're pretty interesting too. You're fighting huge dragons. Maybe it's that, who knows, maybe they're trying to spark interest in players sticking around longer. I don't really know, but the fact that we're fighting another Elder Dragon is really awesome to me, and I'm glad that they're not just sticking to expansions or to major releases with dragons. We're actually able to fight these smaller releases, like like these little quarterly patches, what they used to call it. Now it's obviously bi-monthly patches, but I think it was a great decision, and I think it adds more value to Heart of Thorns, and it makes the Living World season a bit more exciting and a bit more worthwhile to look forward to. That's pretty much everything that I saw in the trailer that interested me really, anything that I really wanted to comment on. On patch day, there will be a discussion on Reddit as usual, talking about the patch, talking about future plans. So look out for that. Be aware and remember that this patch is coming out September 20th, Tuesday, September 20th, which is next week. It's under a week away. So if you do want to go on Reddit that day and talk to the developers, ask questions, do a little Q&A, you can go on Reddit that day on the 20th. If you're not going to go on Reddit, if you don't have a Reddit account, if you don't like Reddit, don't worry. I will, as usual, be covering all of the updates, all of the comments that we got, and giving you a nice little summary of all the details that we got on future things to come, on what they, how they produced this Living World season episode, and anything else interesting that I see fit to put into a video. That will be coming hopefully next Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how fast I get the video done. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got some more insight on the trailer. Hopefully you saw something that maybe you didn't see the first time, or you understand something that you didn't understand the first time. Maybe you have some more appreciation for the episode now. Maybe if you never played Guild Wars 1, you can see how these two games tie together now. If you did like the video, go and give it a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go and subscribe to the channel. Lots of other Guild Wars 2 content on the channel. Lots more Guild Wars 2 content to come in the future. I know videos have been a bit slow. I've just been really busy. I currently have a second video editing job where I edit videos. It's really cool how I'm able to apply my YouTube editing skills to another job. It's just really satisfying. So I have that going on. I also have school going on, and obviously Ariana's moved in with me, so I do want to, spend as much time with her as possible too. So I have a pretty big plate, but hopefully you guys are satisfied with the videos I am able to get out. I will try to get the next episode of Trine on the channel sometime this week. And I'm trying to get a updated PvP guide for the Elementalist, because I do know some of you have asked for an updated version of that guide. That guide is now 6-7 months old, and there have been lots of PvP changes made since then, so I probably will be making a Elementalist PvP guide, an updated version of the last one that was filmed in February, I think, or March, or one of those 2 months. So we'll have that coming up. And I do have another gold guide and a Traveler's Tale in production as well, so hopefully those will be coming out relatively soon. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching as always. And if you'd like to donate $1 to my Patreon page, you can do so. Click the card in the top right hand corner of the screen. It'll bring you to the page. I also have a vlogging channel, music channel, tutorials channel, and advice channel. If you want to check those out, links in the description as well as on the end card. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching as always. And this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.